Hello, y'all. This is Black Widow 32, and I'm, you know, just doing some stuff. There's one thing I want to talk about though. Um, I don't know how to put this, but old folks drive me crazy. I know I'm wrong for saying that and shit, but guess what? They just do. They're always talking about old times and back in the day and da 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 and da 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 instead of seeing the future that's in front of them. And I'm like, why? Like a friend of mine, um, is, I'm gonna call him RG. Um, he always talks about, back in the day, well, and he's always talking about, this, that, and the other, like how things were back in the day and how, you know, things were so great and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, okay, and I'm thinking, because, he's like in his 50s, I think, or close to it. And I'm like 39, and I'm thinking, okay, or 38, gonna be 39, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so he's always talking about back in the day, and I'm like, dude, what's wrong with the future? What's wrong with your future? That all you talk about is back in the day. I mean, my future's fine. You know, I mean, I love some of the stuff that I did back in the day, but why is that gonna stop me from doing? Like, why do I have to think about back in the day when my future's right in front of me? Um, and it's not just him that does that. It's like a lot of folks that I live around. A lot of older folks that I live around, they're all like, "Oh, back in the day, this happened, and this is gonna happen, da 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 da, and da 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 da." And I'm thinking, yeah, that's retarded. Because back in the day, I mean, there's so many things back in the day that happened that I wouldn't have wanted to be a part of, or you know, in history. Um, you know, but I mean, I think it's just me being me that you know I've had such. I think I've had a really rough life, so that I don't look backwards. I don't. I make a habit of not looking backwards. I'm like, yes, there are things that happened to me back in the day, that were significant, but my future is also significant too, and the things I want to do in my future, and things I can do in my future. Um, you know, and he was also, he also talked about, he's bored and blah blah. I'm like, well, find something to do. I mean, it felt like I was talking to a child. Like, dude, find something to do. You know, if you're bored, find something to do. You know, you have so much at your disposal, like your computer. You can get online. You can, talk to folks. Everything. You can do all this stuff, and yet you refuse to. You refuse to just be in this funk where you're, like you're always talking about back in the day, and I'm like, I can't with this. I can't, and I won't because my future is important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the future. I like what's going on in the future. Um, I just That's just me and how I feel. I feel like, what's the point of talking about the past when, you know I find that most people don't even they talk about the past, but they don't make it better. They don't make their futures better by looking at the past. So it's like, what's the point of talking about the past if you're not going to learn the lessons from the past? You know what I'm saying? You're not going to learn the lessons from the past, and what's the point? So that's just me and how I feel about certain situations. Um, but thank you for letting me rant, and see you on the flip side. Black Wheelers 32, signing off.